Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cup of Joe with Joe and Joe podcast. I am your host, Joe, and with me, as always, is my wonderful co-host, Joe.
It's coffee again, ladies and gentlemen, because it's a late one here at the Joe's headquarters. That seems legit. The Cup of Joe with Joe and Joe headquarters. And I need a little bit more caffeine in my system. You know me. I feel like I've been off a coffee kick for a while. I've been pretty good with a cup a day, but slowly but surely, it brings you back in. It really does. It says, hey, you want that warm blanket on a cold winter night? I got it for you, Joe. I got it.
That warm winter blanket is just caffeine mixed with bean juice.
Oh, man, bean juice.
Good old bean juice. All right, hello, everyone. Welcome to the comic edition of Cup of Joe. Today, we got 2 Trace books that we're going to be talking about with you guys, including, but not limited to, Wonder Woman, Teen Titans Academy, and Static Shock. I lied. It is limited to those 3. Those are the only thing that we're talking about today.
Wonder Woman. We haven't talked about Wonder Woman in such a long time. My God.
We haven't talked about Wonder Woman since approximately one comic episode ago. But yeah, so, fuck it. Let's just kick this one off because we haven't talked about it for so long with Wonder Woman, Joe. Number 776. I picked this up. And so, if you recall from last time, which was, again, so very long ago, I know it's hard. Cast your mind back through the eons that we've been waiting for this next issue. Diana jumped down a well following Janice or Giannis and woke up. Or not woke up, but reappeared in the different realm of... hang on a second. I gotta find the name of this realm.
Go back.
Where is it? Yeah, it's in the notes. Elfheim. That's where it is. Elfheim, which is like a lowland Scotland, northern England regional fairy tale story thing. So that's kind of like the quote-unquote pantheon that we're in right now. So as Diane is there, and she's kind of like walking about in this new land, she finally talks with Giannis, the evil half, not the good half that she met back in the Greek pantheon. And through talking with her, she finally comes to, like, we start to get a little bit of Giannis' plan. And she's trying to carve her way through the different realms to Earth. So that way she can access the infinite frontier, which is the whole shenanigans going on in DC right now. And through that, I guess, gain ultimate power or control?
Seems
I don't know.
Legit.
Precisely. It's a little unclear still, but also she seems like a standard cookie-cutter, evil, villainous kind of person. So I'm just sort of like, yeah, okay, let's just keep going with that. But for whatever reason, I guess she can't just... Oh, she uses the God Scraper, by the way, to, like, hack through, like, the fabric of reality and make portals to the different realms. Why she can't just get to Earth, I don't know. I guess Earth is protected by something. I don't fucking know. Anyway, Diana continues going on. She kind of gets into a bit of trouble with some of the natives there in the realm because, again, Giannis looks exactly like her, and she came through that realm and fucked it up, and so everyone's like, you're the one that wrecked everything. And she's like, no, that was Giannis. And they were like, no, it's you. And so they throw her into, like, a castle. Also, Ratatas gets turned into a boy from eating weird food. I don't know. It doesn't fucking matter. But he's in a prison himself with a bunch of other little children. And he's like, I'm not like you little children, though. I can talk to fucking boys. And so he gets a little Boyd, and he talks to it, and he's like, hey, I need you to go find a friend of mine, okay? Thank you very much. And he sends it back on its merry way. And so while Diana's in the castle, she's talking to Deadman a little bit, and Deadman's like, hey, there's a lot of magic in here. Yeah, that's it. Okay, bye. And so he fucking pieces out. And then, crashing in through the ceiling, it's motherfucking Siegfried, baby. That's right. Siggy's back! And he's back in a new costume. Again, this is a different realm, so it's a different artist and, like, different costumes and all that sort of stuff. But he's in a very, like, if you think Beauty and the Beast, but Beast after he transforms back into a human, he kind of looks like that, like the little puffy ascot or whatever and everything. So I was like, go back to the fucking Norse art, please. Everyone looks so like English and proper. I was like, I don't. Fuck this. I want more bear furs and like battle jackets and stuff like that. But that's just me. But so Siggy's back. They go off on their own merry adventure to kind of like free themselves from Elfheim, and in doing so, they restore back a queen sister to power because the queen was killed by Giannis or Giannis, doesn't fucking matter. But at the end, Wonder Woman is using her new purple lasso to try and get some information out of someone, and the purple lasso speaks to her and is like, "Yes, use me." And I was like, "The fucking kill a kill? Are you bleeding into this comic episode? What the fuck is going on here?" But so Diana doesn't tell anyone. She's like, I dare not tell anyone of this just yet. I need to figure out the fuck is going on. Exact words, by the way, they wrote that in the comic book. And she uses the lasso because she's like, all right, I'm going to use you because I was planning on it and I need this information, but I'm also gonna keep my eye on you because now you're talking and that's really weird, and it is. So she gets the information that she needs out of him, and she's like, "Oh, we need to get back to Earth now." So they crawl through a tree, kind of like in Stranger Things, and they end up back in Earth. This is now Siegfried, or Siggy, Wonder Woman, and Ratatosk, who has now been transformed back into a rat or a squirrel thing because the good queen was like, "Oh, I'll fix your little boy problem," and she was like, "Oh, thank you very much." And that's where the issue ends. And I'm just like, okay, we're back on the decline.
Mm. What is it that makes it feel like a decline for you?
It kind of feels like filler. Like we're in a realm, and it's kind of cool that we're in a different realm, but it's one issue, as opposed to like when we started this Wonder Woman era, like this new stuff. We spent 4 issues traveling through the Norse realm and like seeing a bunch of cool shit. Like we saw Odin, we saw Thor, we saw the Valkyries, we saw the Fortress Valkyrie, we saw Yggdrasil, we saw the World Serpent underneath Yggdrasil, we saw Valhalla and like the Hall and all these other characters we were introduced to Siggy. Like there was a lot of really cool stuff. Also, the art was fucking incredible in those first 4 issues. I really fucking loved the art in those first 4. Then we have the next 2, which are taking place in Greece, and the art is kind of whatever. It's fine. Then we have this one issue where it's like, okay, now we're spending one issue in Elfheim, and then we're piecing out of here and going to Earth. And the art in that book, I personally don't like the most because it's very I don't even know how to describe it. It's like if you look at like a picture book of medieval times, it kind of looks like that. It's kind of like watercolor esque, pretty flowy inks, and then just most of it, I'm like, this doesn't look cool to me. And I understand that things don't always have to look cool to get the point across. But again, I'm coming from the beginning of this series, looked fucking dope, and then seeing this, I'm just like, I don't really like this that much. That and the fact that again, you only spend one issue here, so you're blasting through a whole bunch of stuff. I'm just like, it feels like a lot of filler. I don't really. Can we get back to like the cool main story stuff, please? Thank you. Goodbye.
Okay, that makes sense to me. Well, hopefully, something happens that starts to bring Wonder Woman back. Because I'm sorry to hear it's on the decline for you. But I need to talk about Static Season 1, Issue number 2. And
Please do.
look, this was supposed to come out last week, or we were supposed to talk about it last week, but gosh, pushback. But now I got it in my hands, and I gotta say, Joe, oof, the cover on this baby is very, very nice. I will say I'm getting a little frustrated. They keep showing Static in his actual like suit on the cover, and then in the issue he's not in the suit yet. Like he hasn't acquired a suit, and I'm like, what the actual fuck? So I
You fuckers are lying to me.
like it's kind of annoying, but in this issue it's the same artist, and we start with this kind of weird. I believe it's a flash. I'm not sure if it's a flashback or something's happening elsewhere, in this world. But it's this character named Daisy, and she is at her desk, and she ends up kind of using like these shock powers and makes her desk explode, and she's like, oh shit. And that's all we really see of her. So I don't know. I'm assuming this is going to be set up for later on. But we pick up where we left off, which is Hot Streak coming to Virgil's house and setting it on fire. And instead of Virgil kind of fighting him and taking him out, he decides to use this is very cool. He uses his shock powers to like create like a cocoon almost of around the house, and he like takes out the energy and the heat from the flames and creates this like ball, almost like a spirit bomb, and raises it up into like the clouds and then lets it explode, and it causes like lightning to happen. It was super cool. I don't know if the physics of it makes sense, but I'm just gonna roll with it. And
It looks cool and it's dope, so just go with it.
yeah, exactly. And so Virgil ends up saving the house, and he gets like tackled by his family. Like, oh my god, are you okay? Let me look at you. Do you have a scratch? And it ends up turning into this kind of weird, like 2 or 3 page conversation, or not conversation, but like this weird environment in their house afterwards, where Virgil's parents are kind of arguing about what they should do about him without actually asking his opinion. And they're like, "Oh, we need to take him to a doctor and all this." And the mom's like, I'm not taking him to no doctor. They're gonna do all these crazy tests on him. Like, we gotta leave him be. We like give him some space." And it's very unique because Virgil's just sitting there and he's not really saying anything. He's just kind of letting it happen, and they're having this argument. And Virgil's sister is kind of like smart enough, I guess, to stand up and be like, "Hey, do you care about asking Virgil's opinion?" And they're like, "Well, Virgil's too young and all this stuff, and we have to." It's kind of annoying, and Virgil looks really sad when this is all happening. And there's pictures of him sitting in his room, and the art that they did for this is pretty cool. They ended up doing kind of just they pick like this one color tone, and then all the figures is kind of just stencils of them with like very little shading, and the colors of the figures are what the backgrounds are. It's hard for me to describe, but it fits the mood of what's happening in the conversations, which I like. If this were to go throughout the whole,
Interesting.
yeah, if this were to happen throughout the whole book, I wouldn't enjoy it. But for these actual moments, it makes sense. Um,
Yes, that's good. That's good visual storytelling.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, and also looking at this now, it looks like there is another hint to who this Daisy woman is. I believe she might be a friend of Virgil's, because it looks like he's having a little flashback to when they're experiencing that smoke from the protest, and
Oh.
she's saying, "Help me, Virgil, help," and he's saying, "Daisy." So I don't know if it's like maybe a premonition, a flashback, but it seems like she's going to be a character that's going to be coming back up. But what ends
But
up
they'll probably drop after this issue.
yeah, so that ends up happening, and then we kind of get cut back to Virgil going to school, and his buddy Darius, or his quote unquote buddy Darius, is like he's like this, I guess, a popular person on YouTube or something. He has some internet personality, and
Oh no,
he's trying to like
the worst kind of person.
yeah, and he's trying to like interview Virgil or something and get his info, and Virgil gets mad and like destroys his phone. And Virgil's just in like this. He ends up skipping school because he's just in this really bad mood about what he wants to do. He has all these questions that he doesn't know who to ask. Kind of like a stereotypical approach for like when you're talking about a new hero who just got their powers, especially
Yeah,
somebody younger. They're
it's
trying to
very
look for a role
Spider-Man.
model. Yeah, yeah. And so he's just like skateboarding around, skipped school. He's being a little angsty. And let me check my notes here. He gets in contact with Mr. Metcalf. So I'm not sure, but I believe that's Icon. I might be wrong.
Interesting. Hang on, I can look up Metcalf. Also, how's it spelled? Metcalf.
Yes.
Metcalf. There's an artist. I met an artist named Metcalf at Comic Con. I have a couple of his prints up on my wall. That is interesting.
But basically, um, he ends up calling this guy up. I don't know if he's a professor or something, or yeah, it's somebody he
Oh,
worked with. And he's like,
Joe.
"What?
Metcalf is
Oh,
hardware.
oh, okay, okay,
He's
okay."
basically like Iron Man analog for Milestone.
Yes. Okay. That's what I thought. I couldn't remember if he was if that's I couldn't remember who he was. For some reason I thought he was Icon, but what ends up happening is he gets in contact with Virgil calls him up. He's like, "Hey man, like do you have a place where like I could like kind of like be by myself and think some things out because I believe Mr. Metcalf knows that Virgil has these powers. I'm not sure if
Hmm.
Virgil knows that that he has that identity, but he ends up going to this kind of like not secret hideout, but like the storage locker. And inside the locker, we get little glimpses of like all the gear he has in there. And on like the right side, you see like these two suits, and you can't get a clear image of what it is, but. Virgil's like, wow, look at all this stuff. This is like shock resistant, all this stuff, and I'm assuming he's gonna find like his outfit in there.
Mm.
Because what happens is when he's looking at all this stuff, the cops end up showing up and they're like, Curtis Metcalf, come out with your hands up. And Virgil's like, oh man, my dad's gonna kill me. So at first I thought maybe Metcalf was telling him to go there to like set up Virgil. But I don't think it's that. I think it's just a bad coincidence and it's just going to turn into this thing for Virgil and now he has to work with the cops. Um, but in addition to that, also, we get a little introduction to the character Holocaust. Um, are you familiar with him from Static Shock?
I am not familiar with Holocaust.
So what ends up happening is that character Darius from earlier, the guy who was kind of like asking Virgil to do like a little interview, he ends up going to this house and he sees this character. He meets with this character. I don't know his name, but it's like this little dude with like horns and stuff. And he's talking to him, and he's like, "Yo, why were you paranoid about like answering the door?" He's like, "Oh, well, we were at this rally with Holocaust, and these cops showed up, and they ended up fighting us, and Hot Streak was fighting them, and Holocaust kind of like dipped, and he left us all, and I just got away." And I was like, "Interesting." So it looks like Holocaust is like kind of like a guy who got powers from these raids as well, and he's kind of trying to lead all these quote unquote mutants. He's basically the Magneto of this story, um,
Ooh.
and it was interesting to see his introduction because I'm like, ooh, because his design is pretty cool. He looks like a firebender from Avatar. But
Wow. Okay.
yeah, yeah, a lot of stuff happening here. Um, I kind of want the pace to pick up a little bit, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Again, this has me interested enough to pick up number three, um, but it seems like we're still throwing down a lot of groundwork.
Yeah. It. I gotta say, every time you talk about it, which has only been twice now, but I am kind of interested in it. Just like hearing this stuff about it. Um, I think is it an ongoing or is it like a mini? Do you know?
I'm not sure, man. See, this is where my noobness shows. I don't even know some like. I feel like you're pretty good at remembering stuff like that, and also knowing like, oh, it's a weekly, it's a monthly, it's a bi-monthly, whatever. That type of
Well,
stuff also
it
just
is
goes over my
called.
head.
It's called season one, right? So I'm assuming it will have an like an actual end point at some point.
Yeah.
Don't know how long like season one will be, but I'm assuming there will be an end point. So we'll see where that is.
Yeah, yeah, no. So, like I said, I'm gonna keep reading it. Just one of those things. The only recommendation I would have, or something I want, is to pick it up just a little bit. I want a little bit more stuff to happen. Like I said, just a lot of groundwork and background being put down right now.
Right. All right. Well, that's cool.
We got to talk about Teen Titans Academy number five, man. Um,
Yes.
this is probably the one I have the most opinions on. Um,
Really?
yeah, I got a lot of opinions about this thing. Um,
Okay. Okay.
so, Joe, did you get the standard cover?
I did get the standard cover. I got the Sandoval cover.
Yeah, I didn't get that one. When I got there, the standard cover had gone. Instead, I had this one with Brat Girl kind of like hiding behind like her jacket, and there's like this big X in the background, and her hands covered in blood. It's all right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing crazy, but so variant cover's okay. And man, Joe, I just gotta look.
Yeah. Go for it. Give me your opinions, man.
I'm not interested in the Bat and I don't like the art.
Mm.
This is two issues now. Like I feel like we kind of hit if we're looking at a bell curve. The annual and last issue was like kind of like the plateau, the bell curve, where you're like, okay, wow, we're kind of like that was par, like nothing too crazy, and now we're all. I feel like we're on a downslope because this I didn't find enjoyable at all. Um, I was actually kind of pissed when I opened it up and I was like, oh my god, we're really
It's
learning more
more
about the backpack.
backpack.
I'm like, I could give two shits about the backpack, and I do not like the way they're drawn. And I gotta say, the biggest crime of this book is seeing X drawn the way he is. He looks so fucking goofy. I just wish he wasn't even in it at this point.
Mm.
I've seen him drawn so much better, and then to see him have that derpy fucking face, like, oh my god, yeah. This I was very much like, oh, you got to be joking.
Yeah, I was in a very similar boat with you, where when I opened, like, I knew it was going to be a different artist, um, or at least not Sandoval. And when I opened it up and saw the actual art, I was in a similar position where I was like, it's going to be one of those books. And then as I continued reading it, I saw that it was just Batpack Origins. It wasn't even current Batpack.
Nope.
It was the origins of the Batpack. I was like, Christ. And I was like, all right, here we go. You go through it, and it's just like, okay, so this is how Diego became pale, and this is where they were born, not born. This is where they kind of like formed up as a unit, and I
How
was
they
like,
were
I don't,
recruited, like
yeah, I
it's
was like, I don't care, blah, blah, blah. If there are any Batpack fans out there, I'm sorry. This is very boring. I don't give a shit about them. Neither one of us give a shit about them, and we're just like, I think the even more agitating thing is that it seems like they're really trying to push the Batpack as like a member of the like a unit in the Teen Titans Academy like ensemble of characters because Red X fucking reveals his identity to them. So
oh,
now they know. And I'm just like,
now they have to be
you're blue
involved.
balling me really fucking hard right now. Like you're squeezing them and you just smack them with a bat and I'm like, I don't know if I want to
Yeah,
be here
yeah.
anymore if I'm being honest.
It's
Like I
not
don't even
even
know if I want to come.
it's not even like an enjoyable blue ball where like the process of getting it is like, you know what, that's pretty good and I know you're gonna screw me over in the end. It's just like the process isn't even good. You're just like, ow, like I don't even want this. Like if oh god. But yeah, I gotta say, this is literally all this is they make you stick around for the Red X quote unquote reveal and
Yeah.
specifically on that page where his face is revealed, Brat Girl and Chupacabra at the very top. I you got to go back and look at their faces. It is the derpiest looking shit I've ever seen in my life. But I'm like, wow. I'm like, that was. I actually told myself, excuse me, it's the milk. Forgive me. Um, I told myself, I'm like, if they actually reveal Red who he is, or he or she, I don't know, or they. Look, it's 2021. Um, who they are in this issue, in this art, I actually would quit after that. With being that big of a Red X fan, I'd be like, fuck this. I'm like, that is the biggest. But they don't. They again, they blue ball you. They're like, oh, we're gonna take off the
They
max, put
fucking
it on right
tease you.
away, and it's not even that good of a tease. But so there's two things I. Oh, hit the pop filter. Oh my god, this is getting me rowdy. Um, so Joe, why is X recruiting people? Like, what's going on
I
there?
don't know.
And it's I'm
He
assuming
I don't
that's
know what
not for
his
the
goal
Suicide,
is.
and I don't think it's for the Suicide Squad. I think it's its own little thing,
No.
maybe.
Yeah, no, he or she or they seem to have their own agenda going on
Mm-hmm.
because again, if when we learned in the yearbook thing, they were trained by the previous Red X, meaning that there were three Red X's including Dick Grayson. So it's like they have their own personal agenda, and obviously it's a big mystery, so we don't know what the fuck it is right now. But they're clearly planning something big. I just I don't know what the fuck it is. So I don't
Yeah,
know, but
and
I'm like, eh.
yeah, and the issue ends with them going on summer break, and that's going to be the
Yes.
title of the next issue. And again, I'm interested to see how that goes because are they all going to stay at school for summer break? Are we going to get snapshots of them going their separate ways? I don't know, but and I'm
Are
not
some
just
of them
talking about
going to
the
go jet
backpack.
skiing?
I'm just talking about general with like the whole academy. But
Yeah.
another little thing I want to complain about, Joe. Um, so many fucking ads in this book. Holy shit! What the hell? Like, literally, the last what is it? 8 pages are just ads. Like, it. I don't even know. and I get it. You gotta make money and stuff, but like, I just found this frustrating, very frustrating. I again, and this is the thing that pisses me off too, is that literally this could even get worse. But if Red X still shows up in it, I'm gonna throw my fucking money at it. God damn.
Yeah, I don't know if this doesn't start to pull itself back in the next like 2 issues, I might honestly drop this book and just wait for the like when the actual storyline that we care about picks back up. Like that's how much I dislike this shit. I'm just
This
like
is what
I
I'm
don't
gonna say it
care.
right now. I'm gonna say it right now. If
Uh,
the Bat Pack are the main characters in the next issue, I drop it. Ready? I'm doing it. Like I'll do it. I don't care. I
oh shit.
I you heard it here first. I will do it, and then eventually I'll pick up trade or something. I don't know, but I can't take this Bat Pack shit. I can't. Oh my god, they're not even funny. They're not even cool. It's just fucking annoying.
All right, all right. You want to move on to what we're picking up for next week?
Yeah, yeah. It's just I'm feeling so much negativity. My God. Let's talk about something that isn't negative. Blade Runner 2029 number 6. We're back at it. Picking that up this week, which we'll be talking about next week, and that's it for me. Look, man, that's all I got. Just got that one, but Joe, you got a full plate this coming week.
I do have a full plate. So next week, Batman number 111 is coming out, so we're going to be picking up that. Geiger number 5, back on the Geiger train. Swamp Thing number 6. So we're hopefully going to be back on track with that book as well with the correct artist. I believe Mike Perkins is the artist that I enjoy on that book, so hopefully that's good. I'm going to be picking up a book called Stillwater. This is just a thing by Chip Zdarsky. I don't really talk about it on here, but it's been a pretty good series thus far, so I'm going to pick that up. And then I saw this as a unique little thing, and I was very interested in grabbing it. Miles Morales Spider-Man Marvel Tales number 1.
Saw that.
Yeah, so it's basically the first like 5 issues of Miles's like origin in like
The modern
thick
art
issue form.
Is it like a redo
modern.
of it, or is it just kind of taking it
No,
all
I
and
think it's
compressing
just a collection.
Ah.
Yeah, it's just a collection.
So I
And
misunderstood.
I don't have the whatchamacallit, the first couple of trades that have Miles in it. And since I've been on a I've been really enjoying, well, I was enjoying the Miles book until like the Clone Saga shit and some of the other prior stuff. I was like, let me pick this up because I'm like, I like Miles. So like I just want to see some of the stuff, and the fact that you have like all of these issues like condensed into this thing, I'm like, yeah, I'll pick this up. I'll give this a little look see. So I've got basically 4 books I'm going to be talking about. One book really being a lot, but we'll see how that goes. So that's what I'm going to be picking up for next week.
Okay, sweet. Well, Joe,
Yeah.
I'm happy that we ended on a positive note because, whew. I mean, who would
It
have
was,
thought I would have been talking shit about Teen Titans?
Honestly, I mean, I kind of knew it was coming, to be honest. I was like, there's no way Joe enjoyed this book, because we were both at the end of last week like, oh, sweet, Teen Titans Academy number 5 is coming out. Now we can get back to the shit that we enjoyed. And then I opened that, and I was like, oh, no.
All right, get us out of here.
Yeah. All right, everyone. So be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. You know all the normal YouTube bullshittery. Tell us what kind of comics you guys are reading. Tell us if you're enjoying Teen Titans Academy. Tell us if you're a fan of the Bat Pack. If you are, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm just kidding. You can like what you want. I'm sorry. I really want to get back to the shit that we like about this book. Please, for the love of God, just go back to. They introduced so many new characters. I'm not gonna stop talking.
Stitch is
All right,
so
everyone.
much more interesting.
Stitch is so much more interesting, and Alita too, and Brick.
Fucking
I gotta
Tubi,
stop,
man.
Tubi. Everyone, we love you. We'll leave you, and goodbye.